Yeah, so today we'd like to embark on a journey of love. Let's put it this way, it is the most demanded product by humanity. It's something that we're in a constant search, pursue of, trying to find the place that, on the one hand, will excite us by being loved, but also the desire to love someone else, to love, to bestow. It's something that we feel very strongly among youngsters, but also among adults. We see that today it's kind of hard to find love, but even though people don't give up, there is as if a kind of a very special attraction. It's like magic. People are constantly looking for it. And after talking to many people that are searching, people part of which have already experienced previous relationships and even experienced hardships on these relationships, still there's always the desire to find love, to find that thing that will fulfill, excite, and this is what we'd like to talk about today. So maybe to start with the most fundamental question, we see that there is magic about love, something very appealing about it. What is that magic that we're truly ready to do almost anything in order to achieve? And we never do. It's unattainable because love and truth is a result of connection between our desire, which is our foundation, our fundamental element, and its fulfillment. In other words, in the wisdom of Kabbalah, it's called as a vessel, a kli, a desire, and the light is the fulfillment, because the creature is the desire and the creator is the fulfillment. And because we have to truly achieve this state to the fullest, where our desire will be filled by the upper fulfillment, and our desire will also reach that very level, the degree of the upper, so it will grow in quantity and especially in quality, and then that it would fill up with the upper fulfillment, and therefore we're in a constant pursuit of it. Besides, we have to understand that we have to study the sources, because without that we won't understand. We won't know what's going on here. There's such an important phenomenon that grabs everyone. No one can be free of it, and no one knows anything about it. Novels and books were written about it, and Hollywood movies, and whatnot. All of humanity is reviving around it, and no one knows what it actually is. It's because it all comes from the source of the higher force, the creator, which has created the lower force as the creature, in order for the creature to want to come close to him and for them to love each other. It's as if something truly beautiful and good. And what could be greater than that? And it's so exciting that the higher force has created me and all of us, that will all come close to him and hug and will experience love. But the problem is that we don't understand this kind of love. It has to be true love. True love that maybe everyone dreams about it, especially women. They feel a greater need for it. But they don't know what true love is either. But they feel it more than men. True love is that I love the other and not myself. What does it mean, and not myself? That I fill the other, and not that I'm being filled up by the other, through the other. Meaning we're not talking about sex here. We're talking about wanting to feel all of the desires of the other and to find contentment in his fulfillment. That means that I love someone else. That's love. And this kind of love is not necessarily towards a man or a woman, but whoever fills the other, he is called the male, and the one receiving is called the woman. And maybe it's the complete opposite of our physiology, meaning there's a principle here. It's a spiritual principle, like male and female, yeah, which is above our bodies. And therefore, if we understand that in order to achieve this, in order to truly love the other, we have to rise above our ego in order to truly reach love, then here we already have a problem. To rise above the ego, it means that I no longer love the other because suppose it makes me feel good, or it's tasty, or it gives me some kind of a satisfaction. I don't look at the face or legs she has, or the hair, the ears. Suppose if we're talking about external discernments or internal discernments, what kind of character does she have or something? No, I look just at one thing. How can I fulfill her above all of my personal attitude towards her, which is an egoistic attitude? And what does it mean towards her? It could also be a man. And so, for me, regardless of who that is, the other person could be that object which I come to love. And therefore, in the wisdom of Kabbalah, we talk about love of friends, meaning that we conclude together with the friends that now we will develop relations of love between us. And of course, God forbid, we're not talking about sexual relations here or something, but it means that everyone is willing to open up his desire for the friend to fulfill him, because every friend opens his desire for me to fulfill him. And then we will have reciprocal love. And this reciprocal love isn't a one-way love, but it's reciprocal. And this is called adhesion, where then we're adhered to each other. I'm within his internality by filling him, and he is in my internality by fulfilling me. And so there's no difference between men, women in our world, but all of us start connecting this way. And there's no connection with our animalistic body, meaning it has nothing to do with the body, it has nothing to do with signs that make us man or woman. So there's the element of the one who loves and the one who is being loved. Each one of us has to be both the receiver and also the giver, regardless of gender. Now, if we're talking about this kind of form, then we have to start thinking about the vast preparation that we have to undergo in order to reach this kind of love. How to open ourselves up in order to know how to see the other, how to rise above my own interest towards the other, egoistic interest in different ways and forms, men, women, regardless. But especially, how do I rise above my ego, wanting to enjoy the whole world and preferring to delight the whole world, bestowing onto the entire world? And here there's a question then what does love really mean? Is there a place for it in our world? No, there isn't. Only in the upper world, when we rise above our egoistic calculations and we start filling the other and enjoying it. So, how will I enjoy fulfilling 8 billion people? It says so. Love thy neighbor as thyself. What is this? Love the other. It means that I love the other more than I love myself. Just like now, I love myself more than I love the others. So that means as thyself. So, in order to truly achieve love, we need some force which is above our nature, meaning the force of nature to correct my nature, just as nature has created me and gave power to my ego, to my desire to love myself. The very same way I can demand from nature, by the way, Elohim, the creator, in Gematria and its numerical value equals nature. So when we turn to nature to demand our correction, we're turning to the creator. It's an aspect of nature, it's its manifestation. What is it exactly that we correct? I want to correct myself such that I will love the other without any personal interest for myself with respect to him. Whether I feel good as a result, bad as a result, I want to be above that. Why? Because you want to be loved this way too. You, as a small egoist, what do you want? You're thinking, I want for the friends to love me as I am. That's it. As bad as I am, as dirty, as really stinking of my ego, for them to love me as I am. And so is it good or not for them to love me as I am? And it's opposite to what you just said. What? Of course I want for them to love me as I am. Every person wants that. Okay, so how do you do that? Yeah, but you've described the opposite. You said that not that I want to be loved as I am, that this is something that I completely understand, but that I want to correct myself to an extent where I love the others even though they seem stinky in all their qualities. Love him as he is. Yes, just like you want to be loved that way, so you should make your love towards others the same. But this is something that I don't want, and this is why you need a correction. And the other will seem to you horrific, with such obscene qualities. You'll suddenly discover that he hates you, and he did such things to you in the past. That really, I don't know. And you have to love him. I'll tell you what we can bring in here. Suppose that, well, I don't know, suppose suddenly you discover, and pardon for saying so, that he raped your mother. And I would have simply killed him. Or he did something to your daughter. Or you can create such scenarios here that, and you have to rise above it all. I think this is a bit heavy for me. Let's return to the things that I can kind of digest. No, because here we're talking about real love, and this demands correction over everything. In the meantime, this kind of love is not something that I'm missing.